There are pilots, and then there are fighter pilots.
That is not a designated flight path.
It is now.
The difference, experts agree, is difficult to explain but easy to see. It has something to do with the jaw.
I feel the need for speed.
For centuries, these men and women have protected the sky. The sky, for reference, is the large blue area above everything. It is considered important. This is Brock. Brock is 26 years old. He is considered by many to be the finest pilot at the facility. By others, he is considered the second finest. Brock does not acknowledge the others. Brock has wanted to fly since he was a child. This is true of most pilots. It is less true of accountants. No one knows why. Before Brock could become truly great, there was one final threshold. One ancient tradition. One thing that separates a pilot from a named pilot. But there were rules. Rule 1. The call sign could not be chosen by the pilot. This was considered deeply unfair by every pilot who had ever lived. The tradition did not care. Rule 2. The call sign had to be earned. Through action, through character, through a specific moment that revealed something true about the pilot. Rule 3, and this one was enforced with particular seriousness. The call sign could not be too cool. This was written down, in a document, with a stamp on it. A pilot who requested the name Viper was told no. A pilot who suggested Ghost was told no. A pilot who arrived with a list of 17 options, all of which he described as pretty badass, was told no 17 times and then asked to leave the room. The rules existed for a reason. No one could remember the reason. The rules remained. It happened on a Tuesday. Tuesdays, historically, have been responsible for more call signs than any other day of the week. No one has studied this. It is simply known. Brock was performing what instructors would later describe as a nearly perfect landing sequence. The word nearly would go on to do a great deal of work in this story. At an altitude of approximately 40 feet, Brock reached for the radio.
The pilot is coming in for a landing in the sim. He thinks Easy is doing very well.
His elbow, moving with full confidence, made contact with his coffee. The coffee, a medium roast, had been sitting at the edge of the console since 0800. It had been waiting. It went everywhere. The landing was flawless. The debrief that followed focused almost entirely on something else. The panel convened for 45 minutes. This was longer than average. At minute 12, someone said the word drip. The room went quiet. There was brief discussion about whether this was too close to cool. It was agreed that it was not. It was, in fact, the opposite of cool, while sounding like it could be cool, which made it perfect. The stamp was located. The stamp was used. The senior officer paused before speaking. This was standard procedure. The pause was 3 seconds long. Brock later said it felt like several years.
Drip.
And so, he was drip. Forever. Several months later, there was a situation. Drip handled it. The details are classified. What is not classified is that when the radio crackled and the voice said, "Drip, you're clear."
Drip, you're clear.
Brock felt something he had not expected. Pride. Not for the mission, for the name. The helmet is kept at the facility. Visitors sometimes ask about it. Staff explain the story. The coffee, the elbow, the medium roast. Most visitors nod, some laugh. None of them understand. Drip would have wanted it that way.